Hi there, I'm Brian. I'm going to show you how to mount the gearbox on your custom penny press machine here. I have the bolts and everything laid out. I'll show you here. Shooting by myself tonight, but there will be 3 bolts with washers that'll mount the gearbox to the front right here. There's an extension rod that holds it off the top side. That gets bolted right in the center there. And then there are some spacers, a hub, a key, a cone, and your handle with your 4 mounting bolts there. And I will walk you through how to put this stuff together here in just a minute. You're going to need a 5/32, a 9/64, and a 3/16 Allen wrench to do this. And as you can see, those were supplied there with the machine if you didn't bring any with you out to the show. Okay, so we're going to walk you through this here. First things first, we're going to take our extension, here, and we're going to put this, see it's got a threaded rod, it's Loctited into this extension. We're just going to thread that right in here. And now, I kind of got ahead of myself in the beginning a little bit. The machine itself, when you get it, the upper cabinet, lower base, and upper signboard will be 3 separate pieces. There will be back doors on both cabinets when you get them. They open up with the keys we provide. There's the back door for the top cabinet. You want to just set those aside for assembly. The bottom door is already out. To put this together when you get it, there's 2 bolts here that'll bolt the signboard on. Those will be out when you get it. There's 4 carriage bolts that bolt the upper cabinet to the lower base. They also go through this LED light plate here. The LED light plate will move if you take the bolts out, so just make sure you hold that in the same spot. I'll have some tape on it for shipping. Remove the tape, bolt everything together, and leave these bolts loose just so this can kind of move around as it needs to float. In order to complete the assembly, putting the gearbox on, that way the cabin will be able to float into place, and then you can tighten up those carriage bolts on the inside of the cabinet when you're done there. Okay, we're going to get on to putting on our gearbox now. Okay, so we're going to mount the gearbox on. I did cut a little piece of cardboard. I'll even send it with, but just to set in there in case you do drop one of the hubs or anything. You don't want to crack this acrylic. It'll not look good if you crack it. So, all right, first thing now, we're going to get our thicker of the 2 spacers. We're going to put that on our outer shaft here. It's just going to sit on that outer shaft size. And then we're going to grab our key and we're going to grab our hub. I would recommend having this in the downward position, so you can just turn that out. I'll try to make sure I have it down for you when I send it. That way you can put the key inside the hub. That'll be just as long as the hub. Threaded side just is going to go towards the back, and you can just line that up. And then the key will sit flat in the bottom and not want to fall on you as you do put the gearbox on. There's a fair amount of alignment that's going to go on when you put this on here, so you're going to need to align the end of that shaft with that keyway. And as you can see, right now we are in the wrong position, so I'm going to spin this around. Get you down in the bottom position. Those keys to align. Okay, should move on you. That's all you have to do. Turn from the one side and you'll get your keyway down to the bottom. Last step is putting on our thin spacer washer. Now that's going to complete the spacing we need between. And then remember, we're aligning this keyway with that key. As we're putting this together, we're going to use our 3/16 Allen key with 1 bolt in the center on this bracket to start once we get this on. So careful not to hit your acrylic, and just twist it ever so slightly. You should get it to line up. All right, everybody slid right in there. Now when you put this, keep a hand on here so that doesn't fall off, but when you put this bolt in, you're going to need to lift up ever so slightly on the whole machine and the bracket. The bracket actually is going to sit on the bolt when it's all said and done. It won't be sitting on the block. So just a little lift like that's all it really takes. And again, remember your cabinet's going to be not fully tightened up. Mine is tightened right now, but when you have it a little bit loose so everything can kind of square itself up, just make sure you're holding things square. As you get these other screws in, leave the middle one a little bit loose. Start all three of them first. You don't want to cross thread this bracket. On that side, lift it up a little bit. Right in. Okay, now when you get those almost snug, I'd suggest starting this top bolt. Make sure that you're lined up with the extension bar. And to get that one almost all the way in, but not tight. And then I would say tighten your middle bolt here first. Just hold this square. All the way tight. Do your outer two. Okay, make sure they're all tight. At this point, make sure it seems like everything's sitting square, cabinet square, and mounting holes look like everything's square. Then you can tighten this last bolt all the way up for our extension rod. Okay, now again at this point, if you haven't tightened these yet, go in from underneath and tighten your 4 carriage bolts and your machine. Everything will be solid and together. At this point, we are able to just turn in the shaft on the inside with the key. So our last step here is just putting on our handle. Don't forget your cone first. The cone slides right over. Recommend taking that off for shipping if you have this apart, because it'll fall otherwise. Then our handle's just going to go on with the 4 mounting screws. And these are where your 9/64 Allen wrench is going to come into play. T-handles work a little quicker, but we do send you just the regular ones as well. All right, snug those all up good. And you are ready to crush some pennies. So yeah, not too bad. 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts there, the 4 handle bolts. And then obviously when you get it, the mounting bolts to put everything together in the cabinets themselves. And then your power cord. Just gonna come out the back of the cabinet, and that plugs in for your LED lights. Once you plug it in, they should turn on. We have them on blue. There will be a little remote with it as well that you'll be able to change colors or anything you need to. All right, just let me know with any questions. Thank you very much for your purchase, and I hope trade shows go well. Thanks, guys. It was a fun project.